Chapter 23. Ritual Site. Percy and Annabeth rummaged through the brush and foliage. Percy huffed as he almost tripped, a hooked branch clinging to his pants. Do you really think we're going to find anything out here? Annabeth pushed aside a wet branch, showering her already soggy shoes with water. It had rained outside camp that day. After he'd returned the master bolt, Zeus had restored the camp's original protection from bad weather. Just keep looking. Annabeth trudged through the dripping leaves, her pants soaked up to her knees. There has to be something. Percy sighed and turned back towards the trees, wading through the brush. He doubted they would find anything. Any footprints had probably been washed away by the rain or trampled out of existence by their own. Behind him, Annabeth screamed. He whirled to find that she had disappeared. He darted over towards where he'd heard her voice. She was hunched over in the bushes, grunting as she pried at something on the ground. Percy circled around to see what it was, and froze. Her foot was caught in what looked like a bear trap, only bigger, with longer, sharper teeth. Blood gushed down Annabeth's leg. Her hands were cut up from trying to free herself. She gritted her teeth and breathed heavily to repress another scream. Regaining his composure, Percy jumped into action. At first, he was stupid and tried to pry apart the trap with his bare hands, which only resulted in him slicing open his palms. He sucked in a sharp breath. Good thinking, seaweed brain, Annabeth hissed sarcastically through his clenched teeth. Not helping, he snapped back. He curled and uncurled his stinging fingers. Gah! What is this thing? A monster trap, she explained. Made bigger and stronger than any mortal trap and enchanted to make it almost impossible to get off. She squeezed her eyes shut and heaved a long breath. Until it cuts through my leg, of course. What the heck is something like that doing out here? Percy exclaimed a bit too loudly. I don't know, Annabeth seethed. What's an Olympian ritual site doing out here? She was growing irritable. Understandable, considering there was a magic bear trap slowly slicing through her lower leg. Someone is obviously trying to protect it. She took heavy, haggard breaths. Percy gazed at the stone pillar before returning his attention to Annabeth. If this thing is enchanted, is there any chance that we'll be able to get it off? Annabeth pulled at the trap, her finger slipping, triggering a fresh flow of blood. Not likely. He took a few deep breaths and stopped his mind from spinning. Okay, we have to get you back to camp. Maybe Chiron can help us. Annabeth gasped in pain as she tried to stand. Looks like you're gonna have to carry me, seaweed brain. He knelt down, grabbed her arm, slung it around his neck, and looped his other arm under her legs. This might sting a little. He hefted her into the air. Annabeth screamed as gravity pulled on the heavy metal trap. Percy hoofed it through the thick brush back towards camp. Whatever happens, you know it's not your fault, right? Mason asked when Aliana had finished explaining her nightmares. How can it not be? She met his eyes, pure concern and terror clashing in her gaze. The prophecy is about me. I triggered it. Whatever happens as a result will be because of me. No, Mason interrupted, his voice stern and steady. You didn't do any of this. He shook his head. Forget the Oracle. She doesn't control your life. Aliana hung her head. That's a nice sentiment, but you can't stop a prophecy once it's begun. All you can do is figure out your part in it and try to survive the fallout. He sighed. That's not all that's bothering you, is it? She looked away. Come on, he pressed. Bottling it up won't help. Aliana leaned against the back of the couch, which creaked under the shifting weight. It's nothing. He flopped back beside her and looked at her. I doubt that. She turned her head to face him with an annoyed glare. He only smirked. She took a deep breath and rolled her eyes. Fine. I guess I've just felt a little useless since I lost my power. She sat up again. I mean, the prophecy is about me, and now I can't do anything to help complete it. That's not true, he assured her, straightening. Mortal or not, you're an amazing warrior and person. I'm sure there's something you can do, but only time will tell. Aliana met his gaze and chuckled. What are the chances that we met in Denver? What kind of crazy coincidence is that? He shrugged. Maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe it's the fates bringing us together. Aliana laughed for the first time since she couldn't remember when. Nice try, Brainiac, but I doubt the fates would ever work in my favor. He grinned. What? She asked. His smile grew. I guess that means you view meeting me as a good thing. She scoffed and elbowed him in the side. He laughed and she couldn't help joining in. It was good to have a friend again. Chiron finished bracing Annabeth's severely broken leg. She winced. And you didn't see anyone? The centaur asked for what seemed like the 100th time. No, Percy answered again. All we found was that. He gestured to the bloodied monster trap on the ground beside Annabeth's cot. They had been lucky that Chiron knew how to get it off. Otherwise, Annabeth would have lost her leg. But someone is obviously watching the site. Annabeth tried to sit up, but Chiron stopped her and helped her lie back. Why would they set a trap like that unless they intended to use it again? Whoever has the stone is trying to protect the site, she speculated. Chiron stroked his chin. That does seem very possible. He stared off into the middle distance as he thought. I suppose all we can do now is keep a careful watch on this stone circle. Percy felt his shoulders slump. He had been hoping Chiron would have a better solution than wait and watch.